Are you doing, everyone? How are you doing? Are you doing great? Are you doing meh? Oh, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're holding up well. It's kind of a thing that we're going through now, but we'll get past this. We'll get past this. We can do it. So, my REM sleep cycles were kind of smashed this morning as I decided when I woke up at 5 that, hey, I could sleep another hour. And then I barely woke up 1 hour. Oh, not even 1 hour. Oh, more than 1 hour earlier than, no, later than I should. I wanted to wake up at 8. I woke up at 9:30. Something like that. Something in that area. It was it was a big mistake for me. I always try to be careful about that, but sometimes you just say, hey, it's too much free time for me. It's too much free time. So it's too early. I could get another sleep. I will be, tired during the day. But no, I know that messes up with the REM sleep cycles and I'll be sleepy all day. So, enough rambling. Welcome to Road to Rider. Today we'll continue our adventure. We're gonna continue dropping the curtains about what's going on and what's happening. I'm gonna try and introduce a little magic, so it will be more magical. I think we should add some mind control power of Zona. Where is my? All right, here's my cheat list. Okay, we're gonna add some magical cheat powers to Zona, so we won't have to just ramble on and on about what Zona did to the people. So we can add a little more story to it, right? It's gonna be history, and it's gonna remain here. I hope. Even if it passes, and even if it doesn't pass, this will remain written here forever, ish, until the servers turn down and my backups just disappear from the world. Now, what should we do? Yeah, we should write. I think we should write. We came here for writing, right? I hope you did. If not, how you doing, everyone? How you doing? Hope you're doing great. If you're watching, so let me just write a quick good morning to everyone. Good morning, everyone. Here, in case someone comes along and needs a little greeting of morning. So let's see, where we left off. Let's read the last paragraph. Let's read from here. How is this going to help us not panic? Actually, how is it going to help us? Asked Jack. Well, you see, this thing, Cona-Chan, we still don't know what it is yet. We are just learning what it can do and the possibility of it evolving. And the possibility of it evolving is increasing with any new person that gets infected. Which is why in the first world countries we now have lockdowns. This is the first solutions human implemented. As we get to slow down the spread and reduce the possibility of it evolving. This should be a little reassuring. knowing that this is taken seriously by the government. Well, at least now it is, said Moonstruck with a disappointed look on his face. Now let's get back to the progression of these things so you can understand the seriousness, actually super seriousness of this situation with Cona-Chan. Yeah, this was the thing about who taking it to from high to very high levels of seriousness. Um, by this time, by this time, videos of overcrowded hospitals with sick people were floating around, patients having seizures, people welded into their homes. The others looked at the terrified at the images, as Moonstruck was explaining the things he saw. Are we supposed to sit through this? Are these people insane? They need to be made accountable, said Jurgen. Jurgen. Why didn't I write Jurgen instead of Jurgen? We discussed. Yes, I know. But this is a thing of the past, at least until this is over. We need to learn from it and not let it happen in other countries where the outbreak hits, because if we get silenced, more people die. So, an awareness. So being aware is our superpower right now. Along with staying with social distancing and staying home. Continued Moonstruck. Just give me a quick second, because I forgot something open, and it's every 30 seconds it's making a tick, and it's already driving me insane since it's been 2 minutes since it does that, and it's already annoying. Yes. It's okay now. I won't hear that anymore. Continue Moonstruck. I know this sound like lame superpowers, but these are the only ones we know we got till now. But you know, they are not so lame. They are not so lame as they seem. We got used to moving around, to not encounter any unknown threats. Forgetting what it used to be when we were primitive. And encountering a new sight, a new animal. Like in the old day, I don't know if you remember, but at least any animal behavior was kind of like this. If you saw a new sight or a new... I think it was like this, at least that's how I imagine it. When you got a new sight, a new animal, the first thing you do is observe it. If it sees you or it affects you, you freeze for a second and assess the situation, right? And then you try to find solutions of what's going to try to see what's going to happen. If you see what's going to happen, or if you saw that before, if you knew that there was let's say there was a big beast with yellow stripes that sometimes mauls one human or the other. You know that you encountered it, and you know it's probably gonna try and maul you, so you have to find solutions to that, right? So that's why we invented spears, probably. Now I don't know if this is true or totally bullhorse, but I like to think it's true. It sounds like animal behavior. Even animals, when they first meet, they will stay a little on their guard, a little more suspicious. They'll try to assess you, to size you up, and see if you're a threat or not. And after that, it depends on the animal what it does. If it's a dog, it will come to you. It will give you the snazzy snazz. Why the friendliness, the best friendliness. If it's a wolf, it will give you no friendliness. It will give you the woof woof thing. Alright, let me just turn on what's it called? Timer. It's the timer, the count upper. Alright, so let's try and describe what I've just told you. And we shall see where this goes further. A new human. Also, when we met new humans, like we were tribes, right? We were small gangs of primitive monkeys. It would have been a sight when two tribes met, until they decide if they wanna just destroy one another or not. I'm laughing because what else can you do? That's what they did. That's what they did. And that's why you're here. Alright. Get used to moving around, but to not encounter any unknown threads, forgetting what it used to be when we were primitive, and we encountered a new sight, a new anyone, a new human. Do you think we would have just gone head on this, no, a new human? What powers did we use when encountering, let's say, a tiger? Now when encountering let's say, but no, not a tiger, not a tiger. Let's see the definition of a tiger. Tiger definition. Is that even a thing? Yellow, brown. Let's say a yellow-brown coat striped with black. No. Or yeah. Let's see. We encountered, let's take this definition. A very large solitary cat with a yellow-brown coat striped with black. I feel this is better. I feel this sounds better, right? A very large solitary cat with a yellow-brown striped with black coat, instead of a very large solitary cat with a yellow-brown coat striped with black. Now, let's just see. A large canvas having tonic and transvestite. Ooh. Why does it appear right here? Why does it do that? The timer. I'm looking at the timer and it just keeps disappearing and I don't understand why. Oh, it's so. Why are you disappearing? Why can something remain the way It is. Oh no, why? Just select another font, maybe. Maybe this will. Oh, maybe this will stop it. Alright, let's just hope it doesn't disappear now. That was a weird thing. I don't know why weird things like this happen every day. Every day something new just pops up to try and distract me. They don't like me writing, do they? Oh, but they will. Aggressive, let's just see. Impossible to control. Groom, domestic cat with striped pattern. Let's see how it is. Let's just say a little yellow brown. No, I don't think we saw so good back then. Okay. Yellow, brown, black, striped fur. Yeah. I think if primitive people would a very large cat, that's what we're gonna call it. If a very primitive tribe was going to describe, if they survived, let's say a tiger attack, or they ran from a tiger attack and they escaped, I think they will describe it something like this, not as we described it. A large cat with yellow, brown, black fur, striped fur. Yeah, they're trying to say they're leaved fur, with same as leaves. All right. That we never encountered before, or we just heard stories about. First step, if it doesn't observe you, is to observe it. First step, an animal would do if it doesn't observe you. You observe it. In our case, it did observe us. In our case, it did observe us. What do we do? First thing is to wait for it to do something, so we can create a pattern about what is going to happen. Remember, humans are pretty good at patterns. Unconsciously. I think I remember. Let me just check a little, learn a little about humans. Humans with patterns. Okay, every side just likes to tell how great humans are, so let's read a little about this is from Big Think, so it should be something okay. Humans are the world's best pattern recognition machines, but for how long? Not only are machines rapidly catching up to and exceeding humans in terms of raw computing power, they are also starting to do things that we used to consider inherently human. They can feel emotion like regret, they can daydream. So what is exactly that humans still do better than machines? Quite simply, humans are amazing pattern recognition machines. They have the ability to recognize many different types of patterns and then transform these recursive probabilistic fractals into concrete actionable steps. See what I told you. Oh, we like humans, don't we? Pretty good at patterns. Good at recognizing patterns and finding what were those called? I don't know if I want to use that. Why am I here? Recursive probabilistic fractals. That's for this. Okay, let me just take the whole things and paste based on those information on the information we get from those patterns. We get from those patterns we can create concrete actionable steps. Yeah, this sounds alright. No. First thing, what do you do? First thing is to wait for it to do something so we can create a pattern about what is going to happen. Remember, humans are pretty good at recognizing patterns, and based on the information we get from those patterns, we can create concrete actionable steps. Alright. Yo, my hair is not looking so great, man. Straight up not having a good time. Alright. Can create concrete actionable steps. Now, while we wait and while we freeze and wait, to see if we have a solution. No. We can create concrete actionable steps. I think I mentioned it before. Yeah, I mentioned that with the raid boss, but I didn't think I explained the raid boss thing. Yeah, I didn't explain the raid boss thing to these people. So, alright. It's good. We're good. And from those patterns we can create concrete actionable steps. If it gets too close and we don't find a solution, no. First step an animal will do if it doesn't observe you. You observe it. Let me just think here. I think this could be first step. Would be first step would be if it doesn't observe you, you observe it. In our case, you did observe us. What do we do? Oh no. No, in our case we did not. In our case, it did not observe us yet, but it did observe some of our brethren. Oh man, haven't used this word in a while. Brethren. Is that how you spell it? Brethren. Oh, I'm doing a little spelling every time I feel like a word is slipping through. Okay, it did not observe us yet, but it did observe some of our brethren, and as they are running or trying to fight, we need to observe a pattern. We cannot intervene without any plan in mind, as it will get us both mauled. Now it's a good thing we heard about this tiger, this large cat, before the encounter. But did they hear about it? No, we did. They didn't hear, and they got wrecked. Oh, I'm sorry. My condolences for everyone that you know what happened. Okay, let's see if I can get this. First step would be if he doesn't observe. Let's make this shorter, more appealing. We stopped, we observed, we assessed the situation, came up with the plan, and only only took actions when we knew the highest when we knew the highest rate of success was possible. Right now, in our fight, right now, in the battle with Cona-Chan demon, we are at the second stage. The second stage, right? Yeah. The second step. Are we though? Yeah, we are, because we're gonna assess the situation after these lockdowns occur and most of people get the treatment, and see if we still have it around. Chan demon, we are at the second step. She is a tricky one, and it seems like she is not adapting. She is a tricky one, and some people made some mistakes. So taking unnecessary action now, or even gathering to take a necessary one, is still a bad idea. We haven't kept. We still need to keep our distance until we figure out what this thing is. Okay. Unnecessary action. How do you write unnecessary? Right. Like that. Why? Why are there things like this happening sometimes? Okay. Where is... I'll check it later. My lips are... No, I'm just going to do this now. Just a second. My lips got very dry. That's much better. Keep your lips wet, if possible. Usually, as I mentioned before, usually after we eat some oranges or apples, a lot of them, this seems to be a thing of where they just get very easy to hurt them. So you keep them on bay, you observe it, and you take the necessary action. This is all the thing. We also need to remember our powers. What do you call? Social distancing is something power is a what do you call it? A knowledge or a habit? I think it's a magical power. Magical power we forgot we had. In the old times, people tried to move at some distance from one another. Try to settle in the old times. I don't think they tried. People... No, wait. I don't know what I did. Alright, let me just save this. I don't know what happened. Alright. Morning, Rizwan. How are you doing today? We're talking about magic powers. Well, we're talking about powers. Actually, we're talking about things we should do right now. Forgot we had. The old druids. The old... What do you call those? People that were alone and people thought they were magicians, they were witches and everything. They had one for every village usually. A healer, a seer. What else did they have? The town's witch? The town's sorcerer? Well, let's go with sorcerer. Doesn't matter. No wonder the only ones that were taught that were sorcerers or magicians or witches were the only ones that were taught. Oh, this sentence is butchered. Oh, this makes no sense. No wonder the only ones that were taught that were sorcerers. Or does it make sense? No wonder the only ones that were taught that were sorcerers. No, I don't like it how it looks. It doesn't look very good. Oh no. Have you noticed what? Have you noticed in the old stories who were the people that were considered magicians? In the old stories, who were the people that were considered magicians, witches, sages, etc. and all the magic witches, sages and sages. It were probably, but the Moonstruck asked. Let's just put it here. Have you noticed in the old stories who were the people that were considered magicians, witches, sages? almost every time they lived in the woods, away from the people, away from the people. Away from the people. They were practicing social distancing. And for the other people, that was already like some kind of magic. The other people used to being around other people, social distancing was like some kind of magic. Yeah, I can say it's okay. This is okay. Where we left off. Alright, now let's go back. By the time we would see people of contemplation, so the others looked terrified. Let me just see if we are seeing. Alright, let's do a little formatting, very good. And let's proceed further. Now let's return to our main timeline. We have some kind of demon. We know nothing. Or let's not call it demon. Let's not call it demon, as people in churches will try to introduce some kind of uplifting curses for this, and you should not try to find an answer in some weird saints that already died. For this won't be kept at bay. Actually, some of these churches are used to spread. We're used to spread this. What do you call it? Let's try and find a kind of entity, but something that totally has no connection with religions. While it is a virus, people do not truly comprehend what a virus is. For some people, you need to tell it the old way, but if you tell them it's a demon, they'll just slap a cross on it and figure it's okay. Alright. Remdesivir AIDS disease. It could be a disease. Well, it is a disease. But I'm thinking about a plague. What is a horseman? The four horsemen, what entities are they? The four horsemen. I don't want to go there, but the four horsemen. But what are they? They're horsemen. Where? Four riders on white, red, black, and pale horses, symbolizing pestilence, war, famine, and death, respectively. No. We can say it's pestilence, but then these apocalyptic cults. You can't say anything due to them. We'll just keep it to the virus. We'll just keep it to virus. Main timeline. Alright, so they were the patients, and those infected that were welded into their homes. Because I can digress forever, but I don't want to. Alright. Okay, most of the time it's like telling me, now what do you do? What is the possibility of knowing full well the effectiveness of the phenomenon is fine. So the videos appear. So the videos pop up from now and then, at least. You take them with a grain of salt, but first you try and download them before they get and save them before they get cleansed by CPZ. Oh. You take it with a grain of salt, but you also are aware of the risk these people are putting themselves on. On. You're putting yourself in the risk, on the risk. ourselves. True. Right, true. Putting thorough. True. Think. I feel like this is the bad word. I feel like this is such a bad word. I hate thorough though. Thorough. I'm moving in one side and out. That's. Oh, it's true. True. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good, 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 Dr. Correct. Good boy. Good boy. Alright. Okay. Now I feel my nose is runny. I think it's time for me to go and blow it. Actually, you know what? I think I can take the break now and go blow my nose. I'll take a break now and then I'll continue for 2 hours and a half, like that. Yeah, I think we can do that. I can, while I'm staying, I'm watching a little this story to see how to better continue without getting digressed so much, because at every step I can get digressed a lot. So because there are a lot of side stories in every story, and I'm trying to make it visible from every point of view, and it's a little interesting, and I like it. It's hard, and there's nothing better than doing something that's hard to do. And yeah, I'm gonna take a 10-minute break, and I'll watch a little this writing, and I'll get back and we'll go for 2 hours and a half, just to not have any of these breaks anymore, right? So stay tuned. And I'll get back in 10 minutes. See ya soon. I hope I'll see. Perfect. Perfect. Everyone, I'm here. I'm ready to continue. I took a little glance at what I've written until now, at least. I'm trying to assemble magic with daily facts. It's a hard thing, but we're here. So don't forget, if you didn't read what was happening until now, I always have the link in the description with the full story, so you can take a glance at it. Always good to keep up if you don't want to stay while this is created. I understand that completely, so that's why I posted it, so you can see it. So yeah, let's get back this. Putting the serves through heroes or trolls. That is still some information to be remembered. Trolls. That is still some information to be remembered. Because most of, let me just see if I written that they disappeared, that they got disappeared. They were scared more about the virus than they were scared about the government would do to them. Nevertheless, some of the managed to get on social media activists. Okay, perfect. We had this mental exercise, we digressed a little bit. Now, you see some of those videos and think they are faked, or they are just overblowing things out of proportion. But then you find out that those persons disappear. Well, I think I wrote it, something about Okay. Isn't here, so. Alright. But then you find that those persons disappear. That those persons disappear without a trace, and fellow journalists or friends cannot find them anymore. Those persons also seem to disappear without a trace. After declaring a revolution in Zona. Zona, right? Yeah, zonas. I don't think we can say the chi word anymore. After urging revolution in Zona, a resistance in Zona after things clear out. These are the powers of the Zona Empire. Changing everyone's reality to look as they want it to look. A dangerous power. A dangerous power to have over your own people. Okay, so what happened after those things? Oh yeah, those hospitals that were built. We saw doctors, or at least people that said they were doctors. Asking for help as they don't understand why the government declares so few cases when every hospital is full with Cona-Chan illness. With the Cona-Chan illness. Cona-Chan fever. Let's call it fever. Oh, that sounds. Cona-Chan fever. The Cona-Chan. No, I don't want. Curse. You believe what you want. cool with people suffering from the Cona-Chan curse. It seems so many were suffering, so many were infected that they had, so many were starting to get infected that they built hospitals in 10 days. That Zona Empire built hospitals in 10 days. They praised themselves for doing that, not really showing the I want to say poor conditions, but they weren't just poor conditions. They were execrable. Execrable. What's the word? Execrable. Come on, spell it to me. Execrable. 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 Execrable conditions. Patients were living through. Water falling from the ceiling. Oxygen tanks lying everywhere around. I don't know. Let me just see. 10 they built hospitals. Let me just no thanks. Let's see if we get some from what I heard, there were so few bathrooms that oh, these are some beautiful images. Oh, what's it called? What's the hospital called? Leash. Let me just check here on Twitter, see if I can find some images. No, not here. right here, because I don't want to show those images. What's how do you spell that? Okay. Let's see some of those hospitals. Where is Wuhan Oh, no, not. It's Duhan. Okay. But let's just take a moment and look at this beautiful, well, not beautiful thing. So we know there's still some good idea, some good people there. Where is it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Perfect. A beautiful image, well, a sad one. An 7-year-old and his doctor watched the sunset on their way back from a CT scan. The picture is known as the last sunset. It was the death wish for the patient. Alright, let's just take it out. Let me just see if I can find something about those cool hospitals they built. Alright. Oh, so many. Anyway, I don't think I can find it here. Let's not talk about that also, because I don't think that's around patients, around everywhere. But at least everywhere. Waterfront precision laying everywhere around, patients laying everywhere around. Also, bathrooms. No, let's not talk about the bathroom. Let's just talk about the bathroom also. But no, I can't talk about that because someone was saying there were not enough, as they were complaining about the hospitals, but we didn't see how many they had. So we can't really prove that. Around also. So the water was falling from the ceiling. Oxygen tanks were lying everywhere around. Patients were lying around everywhere. Also, all despaired. All sitting in desperation. Clinging to the minimum. Clinging to the minimum. What do you call? They could take the minimum they received from Zona. Now by this time the archivers started paying closer attention on what's going on what Zona was doing. And the videos that were surging were heart-wrenching. Oh, heart-wrenching. Where are you, heart-wrenching? Perfect. They knew what they had to do. Now by this time, the archivers started paying closer attention on what Zona was doing. And the videos that were surging were heart-wrenching. They knew that these things can be kept. These things need to be kept throughout history. Throughout these dark times. Starting to try and make the situation dark times. Alright, let me just see. What else could have happened after that? Okay. So we had the bad numbers, we had so we Alright, let me just go at it here. So this is just a glimpse of what happened as things started changing every day. And by the ranks and by the names you called us, earlier, Tony, I guess we are the archetypes. I presume these are only the archetype, changing every day. The things we need to be aware of, so we know what we should do and make a plan, are the following. Zona lied. People died. Zona numbers are on. Zona numbers and success of containing this situation are unreliable. So we can go after this and just continue with the story as it progresses, because we could stay here day after day after day just writing what's going on. We'll just add small glimpses every day of one event or two events, like so. We're gonna add, but then we now try to add what people are doing to improve this our chances, our probabilities to get over this as fast as we can, right? At least that's what we need to do. Okay. Of containing the situation are unreliable. Success rate. Ooh. This situation is very serious. But we social, very serious. We don't know what to do yet, but countries around the world are trying what they can. Even though some of them are not able to comprehend the situation. It's super serious. It's super serious. Able to comprehend the situation. For now, social distancing, preventive measurements, and good hygiene are the only things we can do to slow down this thing. For now, social distancing, preventive measurements, and good hygiene are the only things we can do to slow down this thing. And by the names you previously called us, Tony is not. We are more archetypes than we are characters, than we are persons, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. Tony continued. Moonstruck. We aren't the only ones in this space, right? In this space. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. Continue, Moonstruck. Moonstruck continued. We aren't the only ones in this place, right? But we can't see only the archetypes that were summoned. No. Because this thing. Unfortunately, when this appeared, when this appeared, money was still on the line. So take that in consideration. Moonstruck continue. We aren't the only ones in this space, right? But we can see only the archetypes that were summoned. Ah, indeed. Ah, indeed. Great eye, observer. There. Got. Great eye, you got there, observer. Every class of people is summoned here, but you 5 are not the only. Let me just see. Ah, great there. Great eye you got there, observer. Indeed. There are everyone, indeed, almost everyone that wants to be a little informed is here about almost everyone that needs a little extra information without too much doom and gloom about the Kotru is here. There are thousands of observers. Thousands of healers. soldiers, healers, cooks, chats around here having discussions about this, all at the same time. Hundreds of simulations. If you want to call them like that. But a place was needed for them to do that. A place where they don't have to hide. Their thoughts, their questions, their visions. Sorry about that, just got very... I had an urge to buy that apple and I couldn't contain it. I couldn't contain it. Thoughts, their questions, their opinions about this place. About this situation. Because suppression of information is loss of any probable suppression of information is a loss of any probable productive idea. I am glad you understood. You saw that, so we can move further on how we deal with this. But idea, said Tony. Tony, raising his eyes from the book he was writing, continued, stood up and started walking in a clownish way. Ah, you got your observer. Indeed, almost everyone that needs a little extra information without too much doom and gloom about the culture is here. There are thousands of soldiers, thousands of healers, chads around here. There are thousands of chads around here having discussion about this at the same time. Hundreds of simulations, if you want to call them like that. But a place was needed for them to do that. A place where they don't have to hide their thoughts, their questions, their opinion about the situation. Because suppression of information is a loss of any probable productive idea. I'm glad you saw that, so that we can move further on how we deal with this. Now please continue, Moonstruck, and tell these people about the good things, the few good things that are happening around here. Yeah, thanks. It was bugging me for a while. Yeah, thanks. It was bugging me for what? Alright. There are good things happening also in this world. Funny memes. As always, the memes were first. The memes that could people trying to make the best funny jokes that could make other people stay home. And then there were people that started getting crafty. And then there were people that started getting crafty, seeing as the governments were not ready or are not doing governments, or what do you call corporations? Or corporations were not ready for things like that. They not ready for this. They took the matter into their own hands and asked themselves what is needed. And asked themselves, what do hospitals need right now? What do hospitals are in short supply of? Air tubes for wait, let me just make sure I'm okay. I'm in short supply of. What are hospitals, medics in short supply of, and can we help somehow? Somehow. Can we help somehow? Masks, respirators, face shields, and our help somehow, not Halo, help somehow. Darling, what are hospital medics and the world in short supply of? And can we help somehow? Alright. Let's just create a new chapter for this. Let's see if I can put it in. Alright. Of course I can't. Subchapter. The unseen heroes. Alright, let's put this. Is it a heading 1? No, it's a heading 2. The unseen hero. Moonstruck while displaying all the brave and smart people out there that were creating solutions for this. What are hospital medics and the world in short supply of, and we can help somehow. And we have in what are hospital medics and the world in short supply of. How can we help with what we have? There were 3D printer. They looked at their 3D printers and said, we have this, and said to themselves, we have this technology that could instantly create something. We still have some raw materials lying around. Let's just create what we can here to help the medical the shortage from medical what we can have. Let's just create what we can here. Can create that will help, or at least ease the shortage. Shortage of medical equipment. Poorly handled governments poorly handled by governments are facing with. Poorly handled by governments, poorly handled or founded by governments. There is we can create intubation tubes, masks protection masks. Let's use all we got and give it to them. Car factories changing their focus from building cars to building ventilators. Changing the focus from building cars to building ventilators. Like, who is going to buy a car nowadays anyway? Alright. What else? What other good things happen? It's so annoying because this is the most heart-wrenching things of what happened with these things, that there are so few good things that people did about this. Now they're catching up on. They're closing the borders. The first thing they should have done when this all started, just let's close the borders. We don't know what it is. Close the borders, track everyone down, keep them in isolation, and study, see how they do. Keep everyone at home instantly. Just you could have promised, as a government, you could have promised you can try and handle them. At least let the people take a break for a while until you see what it was going on. So then you could go to your life back to normal. But now we're just gonna see a lot of automation. Now we just have to see people improvise. Half of the people will be left out of work. For now, the studies in USA say that 30% will remain out of work, but give this another 2, 3, 4 weeks and more people will be left out of work, and there will be higher gap between those that are rich and those that are poor, in case you care about that 1 percentile gap. And there will be companies just hiring 2, 3 people, and this needs to be stopped for now. So let's see, their car factory changing their characters from building cars to ventilators. What do you call those? Construction. Oh. Governments trying to politicians trying to get the masks from the construction workers. Now trying to get masks that were initially designed for construction. Designed for construction workers. People learning to do social distancing, self-isolation. We are learning. We are observing. We are finding some patterns. And that is a good thing. Now, I think you all now you might be thinking, why were you brought here? When you might be thinking, why were you brought here? I thought that also. And I think I know why. We need to observe. We need to do anything that we can think of to slow down the spread, and also help our fellow humans, and also try and find innovative ways of helping our heroes, the doctors, the health care workers, nurse, doctor, nurses, doctors, first responders. Exactly, said Tony. Interrupting Moonstruck. Now ask yourselves, do you have anything that could help the healthcare? Have any idea if you can help these heroes? If not, if you do not, you need to keep this. You need to keep thinking. Also, you need to stay safe. You need to self-isolate for a while, for things will get darker. And you need to be prepared for this. Because it hits in every country. Because this thing does not discriminate. It hits everyone of every race. So the more you do to not risk spreading this, the more helpful you are. You see, there are not many. Okay. Using oxygen tanks from, I don't know, welders? Repurposing oxygen tanks for hospital use. See, unfortunately, due to this global, globalization. We were hurt. Raw materials in one country, assembling it, assembling a product from those raw materials in other countries, packaging them in another country just so you could get it there the next day. The berserker. Oh. Berserker also had a great, also once Berserker is waiting for a solution to streamline the information we doctors get from patients for a pipeline of information to streamline it. For a pipeline of medical data that will give more opportunities for doctors to understand what is coming to their hospitals earlier than just facing it head on with the list with little to no information that they got from other countries. It is a hard thing to do, as corporations are always, as some shady corporations are always in the lookout for new personal information about someone. Another great example, as an example, South Korea. South Koreans have already created an app in which all the cases that were confirmed, the cases that they received in South Korea, they're noted down, or they're translated into the app with the location where that person has been. So you have the app, and if you are in a place where a cluster was found or a person was infected or declared confirmed as infected, it gives you a notification to just be on the watch out. They don't tell you the name, they don't have the name, they don't have the picture, they just tell you that, hey, there's something there. Sorry. Hey, there was someone here that had this infection. We better look out a little bit. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, don't touch things, and it's kind of like the Google app, the Google Maps app, where the Waze app, where you know where some cups are. That's how this works. But you don't know what kind of cups, you don't know what they just tell you, well, hey, we just saw something we think you should be aware of, check it out. That's a great thing to have. It's an awesome thing to have, but it's a sad thing to live in a reality in which this is required. I mean, this is a good thing to have. And as an example, South Korea has already developed an app that would tell you that someone that will notify you that you are in an area where a cluster or some cases were confirmed. So you should be more cautious in that area. But that is a double-edged sword. As no. You get no name, no picture, just the number of cases and the location they were detected on. Perfect. So it is a time for innovation, a time to think about possible solutions, but not offer them as medical advice. Just a place to think of the future. Possible solutions. To wait, to give to some medics. Researches on some medics. We don't know from where the bunny hops, from which hole the bunny hops, but we know there is a bunny there somewhere. Moonstruck. Tony was then interrupted by someone now. You see, I don't know. I want to see some positive things about this. Oh no, Prince Charles got it. Oh no, the royal family. We should soon get back to... Oh no. Oh, this is going like in the pillars. No, there is a bunny out there somewhere. So, keep at it. So, everyone can go and return home. Keep at it. Document your soul. Do what you can to help others. Keep informing yourselves. Know what the best approach. Learn about the best approaches you could take in some situations. This thing will hit, and it will hit hard. Some of you might lose dear ones. Some of you might get what do you call those? Not hard. You get those symptoms that are that are not so easy, not so not so those mild symptoms. Might get intubated, might get through this with pain, but you keep fighting. You are the ones that will see history being written. You will be the ones writing it. And the observer is here to do that. That's why we got the observer. That's why you got the observer. He will see you. He will describe you. He will describe everything that he can see, so you could know the developments without any fear, without any suppression. All you gotta do is press that live button. You gotta do is press that subscribe button so you can press that subscribe button so you can see so you can catch up with so you can get better and better glimpses of what is going on and the importance of not being an a-hole about this, Chad. Moonstruck is bound by fate to write until to see to is bound by fate to witness things your is bound by fate to witness and write and talk about these universes as for now that is the only thing he can do. So you will return. You have this information. Your life will continue normally, or you could search for some solutions. Or at least try to remember history. For Zona and many other might need to pay a hefty price for unleashing this upon humans without secrecy they kept, and might need to pay a hefty price for this and the secrecy they kept. And let this spread just for monetary gain. Keep your eyes open and start your fight. Start your and use your intelligence to outwit this darkness. Alright, so something kind of like this. I just wanted to show them back into the real world, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like that. They are going to do some stuff, they are going to investigate some stuff, they are going to try and help people, each one going into their own groups trying to help each other, while I am posting for them to, while they will be reading my posts about what I heard going on and what will probably go on in some countries, and I think this is going to be like a new age old magic kind of thing. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. We need to add more cases in this, and I feel like if I keep just giving examples and examples and examples of what's going on, it's gonna take me like 400, 500 pages to just say what's going on, and we're missing the action, we're missing everything, because every day new developments happen, and every day I'm just giving 1 week of developments, and it will take a long time for me to really put this on, to really finish, to really get to today. So yeah, we will continue keeping on an adventure type thing, and I will try to see more good things happening in here. And yeah, this I think this will be all for today. I kind of consider it being down for today. What loophole? I'm sorry, a friend of mine was telling me. What loophole did you find? Alright. To outwit this darkness. And okay, so yeah. Oh, I thought a friend of mine was talking about a real loophole. Alright. Hope you're doing well in quarantine. Let's just have a talk for now, because I think this is all the writing I'm gonna do for now, for today. We'll just talk about what is going on and what should we be on a lookout for. Of course, as you probably know, unemployment rate will kind of grow. It's gonna be a hard time, so if you have this time here, try to take some gardening lessons and everything. Try to do some courses in automation if you can, anything, programming, that's always a thing. Factories, those that require robots, how to operate them, that is a good thing to start going on. Another thing is drone driving. I think we will see some increase in drones into the cities. So as they will deliver foods and stuff to other people. What else should we be on the lookout for in these times? We will see. Another thing we'll see eventually, if this thing continues and people keep getting sick, there will be a moment when people will just won't care about it anymore and just sign a leisure saying that the company or the place you go into is not responsible if you get the Cona-Chan. Preparing, if your country is still early on in this, you should be preparing a little food, a little water there. The utilities will stay on, but for example, in our countries we already are not allowed to go outside unless you go to work or to buy some food. So don't stock up, like get friends in there, just get what you can. Another thing is to get some masks if you find them. It would be beautiful if you won't be a scalper and try to buy medical things and sell them at a higher price, or even that, try to export them to other countries when your countries need to. But probably the best thing that will come out of this, if it will come out of this, is that countries will become more centralized. So there will be factories in countries again. You don't have to base yourself on China to produce some medical equipment or so. I do hope by the time I get with this book to think of a way to see about what research can be done. I do have some things, but I still need to think about them, about what kind of research should be done and how it should be done, just to increase the chances for, if we survive this, to increase the chances we will get of handling better the next ones. 100 years, yeah, my plans consist in hundreds of years plans, tens of years plans, generations after generations. So that's why I'm not giving them out there, because they still sound kind of cuckoo. So that's kind of great. That's why we're still writing the book. We're trying to give some information without giving information, just some information enough for people to search and document themselves from other sources, or at least to know they heard that before but they don't really know where, because we all know it's hard to cover this nowadays, even though it's hard for this to be covered negatively towards the governments that are screwing up so bad. Some of them. I think in Czechia, I don't know for sure. They raised, the parliament raised their own salaries, and nobody could protest due to, you know what? How big of a a-holes are that? How is that productive? Oh, I so wish. I so wish they would continue and do that more and more. And this thing will pass in like a week or two. So I want to see what would the people do to those politicians? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a weird thing. It's sometimes you can't keep up. You can't keep up. People are acting like they're, I don't know, like they don't understand what's going on at all, and don't really wanna, and don't really care, because people are dying, and they still want to get more money. They still want their employees to come to work. It is essential. I had a friend who just puts barriers on. It was the most essential thing to do, putting barriers for at companies. That is a life-saving job, you know. And yeah, we don't have plans. The only plans we have for now is just to stay inside. And I guess this is hard to implement to people that were told on TVs 2 or 3 weeks prior that this is a nothing burger. This is nothing. It's just a flu. You shouldn't be worried about it. Just wash your hands and you're cool. It's okay. Sometimes I'm so furious about those things. I even go on Facebook sometimes and just comment to those doctors that I heard at TV, because now they're complaining like, oh, it's so hard. We don't have masks. We don't have anything. Please donate. Yeah, no, I won't donate to you. I will donate to my hospital, not to you. And I think in February, it was first when I saw him on my wall. He posted a video in which everything you need to know about this situation. Not situation, because the situation entitles more points of view, more different actions. He just talked about what this virus was, and how it was so easy to not care about it, how it is so less powerful than the flu, and how people get only mild symptoms including being intubated, or at least on some form of respiratory ventilator assistance. Oh. And the most annoying thing is that every country I first was looking at Zona and how it developed, and everyone was freaking out over there. Everything was so weird. Even with all those fireworks we had a dude trying to spoof his grinder location to Duhan, just to try and get some numbers of what's going on there. Another thing, oh, it was amazing, and then it hit Italy. Oh no, then it hit that cruise ship. So that was another weird thing to see countries handling it, because no one wanted to touch it, and then some people accepting it and shaking the hands of the passengers, and it was a total disaster over there also. Then it went to Italy. We saw how that worked. But in that time in which this was continuing to evolve in every country, they didn't close the border for. They closed the border when they made sure that they have it inside of them. Oh, that was a thing to watch. And now we're living at the mercy of those decisions. But this we're gonna talk about tomorrow, because for today this was it. We're just gonna talk tomorrow about this more briefly. I feel like I'm I'm losing details here. I've written enough for today, but I feel like I'm losing some details here. So I wanna be more specific about the things I saw, and okay. I don't think we had enough. We had some writing done today. Yeah, this is all we've written today, right? A little few. Maybe I'll surprise you. Maybe I'll write something today without any live. Why am I like this? Why can't I stop eating that apple? And it's so sour also. No, let's just go a word count here. So I finish everything I need to finish, just to be sure. Alright. 1,564 words. I think we had... how much? 2 hours and 45. That's still good. Let me just move it here. Alright. I need to make this layout be more happy, so we can feel it's more like a game than it is a tragedy. Because it is a tragedy, but we can't stay like this forever, you know? We can't really have the blues, have the depression, have everything that's going in countries that hit. So we'll create a story of lore and glory. Yeah, we would add this will be the lore part in which we are now. This is the lore we need to be aware of before before going through this, before before more people start to find better solutions to this, before we realize that we need to stay home for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks. It's going to be hard, it's going to be something. I don't know what's going to be, but we just need to know that it kind of peaks, but it didn't peak. It still hasn't peaked, sorry. And yeah, we need to entertain ourselves a little while the world is burning, right? How else we would get through this? Oh yeah. So don't worry. We'll talk about this. We'll find better ways to make it more entertaining. I'll find better ways to make it more entertaining. The words to be more entertaining. Because now I feel the passion. I've started to learn the basics of writing. Now we need to add timing, entertainment, combine it with reality, combine it with horror. And we don't know what kind of wacky ideas we get. That probably this is a stepping stone that will help us further. You know, as the Berserker helped me be prepared for this period since January, I think we can learn to be prepared better and better for what's going to come, for what's going to happen, to see what limits we provide the governments with, to know that they are being watched, and to know that after all this is over, the heroes were the ones that were heroes, and the other ones, well, they will be needed to be taken in, to be made accountable. These are my stories, and this is how it's going to continue. So yeah, I'm gonna document myself a little the rest of the day on what happened, because I can't remember for sure what were things I followed, what were the things I saw, the events that happened, so I need to refresh my memory a little bit from this point on, because now as all the archetypes are going back into the world, I need to keep them up to date, so I need to know for sure what happened there. And try not to be so mean. Alright? I'll try not to be so mean. That doesn't mean I won't. But does it really mean how I am right now? Being all inclusive, being very inclusive didn't help the people of Italy. And that was just what they did there, was not being inclusive. That was just virtual signaling. Hug a Chinese. What were they thinking? What? Oh no. And even the one before that. But that coincidence was amazing. That coincidence was so interesting. I don't think that's what really started that thing in Italy. I think it was way before that thing happened. But you know that video in which that citizen from Duhan said that he was not a virus and hugged me, and then people hacked him, of course, who thinks that a person is a virus. And then a few weeks later the boom started. Oh, how many lives they lost there. What can I say but condolences to all those people that are losing loved ones or are losing this battle, but we have to go on. There's nothing we can do. We can't really stay and mourn. We have to go further and try to see where we get from here. I'm sorry about this ramble I did. I don't know why I did it, but I felt more like talking than just writing today, because it kind of depressed me how little achievements I can see online about this, how few wins we hang on to, but I'm glad we can see some good wins there, especially those 3D guys. Those 3D guys were amazing. And yeah, gaming also needs to have their word of gratitude, because now even if people are staying inside, they are gaming more, so they don't really miss going outside, especially in this situation, and that's a good thing, a good solace to have. Let's not forget about books and every entertainer out there that keeps us busy, keeps us smiling from now and then. And those people that do something, create something, try and do something creative and not destructive, not trying to force someone's hand into making them prove they're not racist. Ah, damn it. Alright, I think we had enough of me talking, right? Did we? We had enough of me talking. At least for today. I'll just clean everything up. I'll just clean the whole house up, so it will look brighter. I don't know if that's why, or because of my REM sleep disruption last night, that I feel kind of blue, but at least we did some hours of writing, and I can say that contract with the devil seems to be doing wonders for now. Doing those 6 hours every day, 3 hours apart, like the hours 9, the hours 12, and the hour 3. If you don't know what I did, it was starting. I wanted to get really into this, and I wanted to try to see if this will help. So I already had the premise before this self-isolation thing became a thing, but I didn't really have the time, and I kind of saw it somewhere. I kind of saw something interesting. Well, not this advice, but I kind of made some weird associations, and came to the conclusion that this might help someone get better, get into something, get better at something, get excel at something, start to excel at something, is to get into something for 6 hours with probably 1 or 2 breaks during those 6 hours, but only that, no distractions, no nothing, just 6 hours of intense dedication. And what I learned from that is that, and you have to do that, 3 days in a row. And I saw that after you do that, everything becomes easier, you get more energy, more hyped up, so it's kind of good. Everything gets a little easier, but at the same time it gets harder and more interesting, so I'm still following this through. I'm still studying it to see how it goes, what things are disrupting, what things should you look for. I'll probably even create, I already recorded some things to add an episode up, but I still need to edit it. Another thing, I will need to do a contract with the devil it someday, but until then I will post a video about this actually today or tomorrow. I keep learning to do my schedule, so it's pretty awesome. Everything's going great, I think. I'm sorry, today's a little wacky, but I did my thing, I did my job. I did at least 1,000 words, at least 1,500 words. I think I've written more than that, but I think this will be it for today. So I'll see you tomorrow, same hour as today. That's 9 a.m. GMT, 11 a.m. GMT plus 2. Same hour, same thing, but I'm going to prepare to be more intense about this, because today was the first day of the lockdown and it felt kind of blue. Also, this is life. And don't mind me rambling. I'll see you tomorrow, alright guys and girls and everyone that's watching. Yeah. And you. Thank you. And have a great evening. Have a great morning. Have a great everything. Keep on it. Do some exercise. Do some stretching. And tell me your thoughts if you're writing a book. I'm going to go into some writers groups, so I know their thoughts on writing about this and how do they do it. Alright, have a great day. Bye.